Hello, Easy Nation. Welcome to another episode of The Rule of One. I hope everyone's having a very good day. So, I just got done watching The Bad Batch. And when I'm watching The Bad Batch, I'm always thinking, like, okay, what episodes of Clone Wars or Rebels or Mandalorian or even a Star Wars movie I could watch that was related to the Star Wars content I just finished. And so that's what's great about this podcast is because I don't just want to go straight into which is let's just watch everything. I'm like, no, let's not do that yet. I might do that eventually down the road, but for now, I'm just like, whenever I watch The Bad Batch, I'm like, okay, what's a way I can spin off and talk about some of the old episodes of Star Wars? So I'm talking about the Pantoran episodes. There's 2 episodes of Pantoran, and Pantoran's the planet they go to in episode 4, Cornered. So there's 2 episodes that really heavily deal with the Pandoran people, and I'm watching the first episode called Season 1, Episode 15, Trespass. And I've always enjoyed this episode. And then there's another episode, which I haven't actually finished the episode. I watched about half of it. Really enjoyed the episode. But I'll talk about that next. And then I'm going to talk about my 2 Finnick Sean episodes of Mandalorian. So I'll be looking forward to it. So be looking for that in the next day or so. Probably tonight, to be honest with you. But this episode is great. Because, Pantoran, they say they're, okay, we're the only civilized civilization in this sector, which means this is technically Pantoran property. And this episode had a very Western kind of feel to this episode because the Republic comes in and there's 2 bases. There's the Republic base. The clones are basically the clones' heads have been put on spikes, and then they go to the Separatist base. So we're not dealing with Separatists. We're dealing with some kind of it like I said, it feels like a Native American or like an Indian, or you're in the West. You have a base that was been decimated by the Indians, and then the other base, which was maybe the Confederacy, was they've been decimated, and then you're trying to bring peace to the valley, but it feels very Western like, which is what George Lucas and really inspired Star Wars to be like a Western, to be like a Kira Kurosawa stuff, and like Kira Kurosawa stuff inspired a lot of Western stuff. So I really like this episode. I like when the Jedi are able to try and communicate with the Taz, and I remember watching this episode back when it first came out, and I remember because it was the ice storm back in 2009. And we just got power, and I had these episodes recorded on the DVR, and I just watched an episode, and I just remember watching the episode, and I was completely involved in the story, and because it was like the first time I've seen something on the TV screen in a while. And I like how the chairman says, "No, I will die for my beliefs. I will die for my people. Will you, Senator?" And I really like the Senator character. I wish we could have seen a little more. We saw a little bit during the Padme when she was trying to stop them from getting more troops for the clone armies in an episode, which I won't talk about those episodes yet. I'll probably get to those eventually. But I really, really enjoyed this episode of Clone Wars. I mean, whenever the chairman dies from his hubris, thinking that just because he has his fancy title and that they're more civilized, and it felt like I said, it felt like a Western. It felt like when we came over to when Europeans came to America. And they just felt like that it was their God-given right to claim this land. It kind of felt like that. And that line from Obi-Wan where that the senator says to the Taz, he says, "It's a great sacrifice to die for one's people. It's an even greater sacrifice to live for one's people. I choose to live. What do you choose?" And when she says, and then when the Taz says, "I choose to live," and that line from Obi-Wan at the end says, "May I offer you some advice?" He says, "Make it last. Not just this war, but all wars to come." And like I said, this episode is just a great little episode of Clone Wars and a very underrated episode. I love this episode. Had to talk about it. And the musical score by Kevin Kiner is very underrated. It hasn't actually ever been released, but I found somebody who did it on YouTube, so that's how you're able to hear it at the beginning. It's a little choppy, but you get the gist. So, guys, that ends this episode of Rule of One. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you stay tuned for more Rule of One episodes that relate to the Bad Batch. So, guys, until next time, all too easy.